What's good, everybody? Welcome to Karu the Mentor presents life lessons where wisdom meets real life and every lesson helps you grow stronger, wiser, and better. I am your host, Karu the Mentor. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel because I be in those comments. I will be in those comments. So I had just shot one video and I saw this right here. Didn't see anything. I'm just going to just jump in. I'm 34 and I've never been in a relationship. I am 34 and I've never been in a relationship. We're going to just play it. We're going to see how this goes and we're going from there. Let's get it.
I have never ever been in a relationship. I know. Oh my God. It's not something I anticipated, honestly. In my early 20s, I always thought I would be someone that would get married early, maybe give or take 25, 27. But when I was heading into my late 20s and I could see that the signs of romantic love looked like it wasn't part of my story, I started to freak out a bit. And this reason of me being perpetually, chronically single has been a constant in my life. And it's taken some sort of like self reflection for me to realize why I've just been single for so long. And I'm gonna share that with you in case you're one of the ladies there. In case you're a fellow woman like me that has never had a chance of romantic love, even though it's something that you've yearned for, and now you've come to that stage in life where you're potentially planning for a future where you're just gonna be by yourself. I know.
So, so she just started. Fresh face, not bad. Not she's okay. She's fairly pretty, but I don't see nothing feminine about her. She doesn't. She only has earrings. If she didn't have any earrings, I wouldn't know if that was a female or not. And this is what this is. You're gonna get what you like. She's not doing anything that's gonna make her stand out amongst any other woman. There's nothing feminine about her at all. Now, I will say about a woman like this. If a man was to approach her, you see, and okay, let me just finish saying what I'm saying, and I'm gonna say something else. But if a man was to approach her, and he approaches her, she's going to be loyal to him, right? Until, and this is where this gets dangerous. Once he starts grooming her and starting to change her appearance, like he starts to do things for her, like he'll start saying, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you dye your hair? Why don't you wear these type of clothes? Why don't you do this, do that? And she starts getting that attention. This is where she might be the one, because it's new to her. It is new to her. If she gets a husband right now and he starts to change how because he's gonna make sure she dress more feminine, because that's what he's gonna like. He's gonna make her dress more feminine. He's gonna make her look better overall, like present herself better, not make her look better, but present herself better. Then she's gonna start getting the attention, and then we have a whole new ball game. A lot of times when you get women like this and you build them up and you build them a certain way and they start to get attention, it's a wrap. Because now you could possibly get somebody that's better, right? Air quotations, right? Because it may look better, but it ain't really better. You know what I'm saying? She may not have the certain type of man that she had before. If now that he becomes a option, she may jump ship thinking she know what she's doing, and that's what creates the problems. That because she's got the look. Maybe she changed her glasses or whatever and do those things. But yeah, this type of female. You people are scared of this one because this is the one that you build up, but she could destroy you right there, because she's not used to that attention. She's not used to 1 year with a sharp dude that like just puts her together better. It'd be a wrap. That'll be a wrap.
No, everyone is gonna be like, be optimistic, be faithful, go out there, meet people. You don't pray, pray. I'm go to church. You don't go to church. Especially people that are in relationships, they always have like their advices and opinions on how to meet people. But honestly, a lot of the time, it boils down to luck. And yes, technically, you increase your luck when you go out there and open yourself out to more people and meeting more people and exposure. But sometimes I don't know, man, it might just not be part of your story. And maybe a part of me has come to accept that fact because now I'm just very comfortable being by myself. I want to try declutter.
So so here it is. She's saying she's very comfortable being by herself. When I hear a woman say that, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just it's something. I don't know. It's something like when I hear a woman say that, I feel like they're saying, I really don't I really don't like to share, but I'm going to like, I'm just so comfortable by myself. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it differently, but again, this is the dangerous one because but listen, but know this though, for real, all jokes aside, there's a reason why. And it could be because of how she presents herself. Because again, I wouldn't know she was a female if she didn't have those earrings on her. You couldn't automatically tell. I mean, when she starts talking, of course, because she sounds like a female. And yeah, yeah, she sounds like a female. But yeah, this is
Chewing as I talk to you. But I know me, I'm horrible at multitasking. So I will try. If it doesn't work, we're just gonna sit down and have that conversation about LOVE. I'm growing up. I wasn't somebody that boys looked at, like boys chose. I'm quite a tall girl. Like people don't know that I'm quite tall, but when they see me in person, they're like, "Oh my goodness, you're tall." Yeah, guys, I'm like 6 feet.
yeah. So that means yeah. When you're a little taller, when you're a little taller, you need to be yeah, and you need to present yourself in the best way possible. And I would definitely get that Invisalign popping, and not no shade to her because they're still white, but that's what I would do. That's exactly. I swear that's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do.
So I've always been the girl that was the tallest in the class. When people were having like their first crushes and stuff, like mutual crushes, I never had someone like me. On Valentine's Day, when you graduate from being Valentine's with your girlfriends and now having boys like be your Valentine's, like that never happened for me. My Val was always my best friend who was Chinelo at the time. So we used to Val each other. And I remember primarily in primary school, I forget what class, but I'll insert a picture if I can find it. It was cultural day in school. And the thing then was that they will pair girls and boys up. So it's going to be a girl and a boy. They'll wear cultural attire and then they go out in front of the congregation because it was kind of like an end of the year party and stuff. And they paired me up with this one guy and he was definitely shorter than me, And the guy was legit sad. He honestly, if I remember correctly, he was crying that he had to be my partner. And so I remember that day I was dreading having to walk out with him because I know he didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there because I literally towered over this boy. And there were taller boys in our class. I don't know why they didn't pair me up with him. So anyway, he's dreading it, I'm dreading it. So we both walk out in our cultural wear and the audience laughs as well. The audience laughed because the height difference was so absurd.
She cried when she got to the car. Yeah, that. All jokes aside, she's pretty hurt by that. Like sometimes I could look, and this is a very hurtful thing that she's dealing with right now, and I believe she's African. Why she don't talk to her father and try to get him to set him up with a dude. Do some arranged marriage stuff. Why not? I don't know. But this is a very hard subject for her because her mother's probably married. Her father probably married her father, and they were together for a number of years. That's what it looks like to me. So there's something wrong here, and that's, and you got to talk to your father and see the man of your life. If you have a man in your life that is there, you got to talk to him and see, get the answer.
That was like my first foray into seeing that, maybe I'm not the beautiful type. I'm not the one deserving of romantic love or young love. Throughout primary school, I didn't really have any crushes. Then I went to secondary school. In secondary school, for the first half of it, I was in an all-girls school, which was fine because it's all girls. Like, yeah, girls went out to tell the tales of like their conquest and whatnot. But my friends were not that out there. My friends were more introverted like me. They were more late bloomer kind of girls as well. They didn't really have boyfriends. So I tended to stick to the same group of people that had similar experiences or similar outlook as me. So we weren't particularly having conversations about boys from the age of 10, 11 to age 13. So from that time, I now switched to a mixed school. So I left my all-girls school to a school from the age of 13, 14 to the age of 16, 17. I went to a mixed school, which was when I knew that boys didn't fuck with me. Nobody liked me. Like, even when people were having dances, like we had socials and stuff, and all the girls were being asked out to like dance with the guys and grind, I never had a boy ask me if I wanted to dance.
Now, this stuff hurts her, man. Like, and it's unfortunate because, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because this probably hurts her, and I could tell it does. She says it with a smile, but when she gets to the car, she cries when she get in the car. I know she does. I remember something like this myself, even though I had a few dates, but when I was younger, a lot of women, when I was living in New York, wasn't really paying attention to me. I mean, I caught a few, but a lot of women just overlooked me because I didn't have no snazzy game. I wasn't trying to say the snazziest stuff. Excuse me, but I tell you what, I just said, hey, this is my name. This is what I want to do. What's up? No? Okay, cool. That was it. But when I moved out of there and I moved further south and like Virginia and stuff, that's when everything kind of opened up for me. And that's probably the thing too for her. I don't know where she's from. But shout out to her though, Enrica. I don't know where she's from, but she sounds African, and being tall and wearing that brown shirt ain't gonna cut it. Because men are visual, and she's not presenting herself in a visual way. She didn't present herself in a very visual way. If she's wearing baggy clothes and all of that, unless that silhouette is dope, nobody's paying attention to her. Straight up. You gotta remove yourself. You gotta put yourself in those situations. You gotta see. But we'll see.
Like in my life, so I pretty much just grew up, just being like, yeah, I'm not very pretty. God, I feel like I want to cry. Yeah, I pretty much just grew up like thinking, yeah, I'm not very pretty. Like guys.
Yep. Told you. I knew it hurts. I know the feeling. I know what she's feeling. I understand what she's feeling. Because nobody's paying attention to you, and it hurts. It hurts, but you gotta present yourself a certain way. Like I had to present myself a certain way. Now I feel like I could, if I was single, I could be anything. But I'm not running those streets no more. But my confidence is way different now because of that. I ain't gotta impress nobody. I just gotta impress my wife. You know what I'm saying? So, but in her case, yes, I know it hurts. I know it hurts her. It hurts.
I'm not like a guy's cup of tea. I'm tall, I'm lanky. I had people make fun of me because of how I looked. I'll be called like, oh, you're so lanky, you're so long. It was horrible. Like, if you could pay me to disappear, I would have disappeared. But I noticed that all the shorter, more petite girls were getting like romantic interest. And I'm like, oh my God, if only I wasn't this tall. If you could pay me back then to cut off my legs, I would have gladly given you. I'm like, take it. I don't want these legs. I would have gladly given it to you. So I never had the first kiss, and you know when you watch like all these romantic movies, and mind you, romantic movies bamboozled me. I was hooked. I was waiting for my never been kissed moment.
She's never been cool, and she's never been sexy until now.
She's all that moment where I take off my glasses and like boys are funny. No, that was never my story. Anyway, I was waiting for those moments, but honestly, they never came. When you're growing up, you don't want to be seen as a different person. You want to be part of a group, a crowd. You want to be part of the team. But when you seem, or people recall that you an outsider, you look different, my hair is short, my body is lanky, my shoulders are broad, I never look good in school uniform, my bum is flat, my breasts is, I've got small boobs. That was not what boys were checking for at that age. So I developed sort of like a hard exterior, like, oh, your words don't mean anything to me. Even though inside I was dying. When somebody says something to me, I would like be so like quick with my responses. I was super defensive. And when I don't then defend myself, I would stay quiet. Meanwhile, it's eating me up inside.
Yes. There you go. Let her talk. She gonna tell you. Super defensive. So to a man, what does that scream? Hard-headedness. Every time I tell you something, you're gonna fight me back. See, this is yo, listen. Yo, if you are confident in who you are and you're feminine, you will find you a man. I promise you. I promise you. Be meek. Be pleasant. Pleasant to talk to. You know. The man I probably was looking at her for something, to be something with, or to have something with. Nobody wants to deal with that type of woman. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. You know, but yeah, that's what that is. There she go, and it says it right here. She wanted to fight people, super defensive.
I don't like what you said, even though we were seeing, and some of these people were my friends as well. They didn't mean any harm, but it rubbed me off the wrong way because it's part of myself I'm still coming to love and appreciate and like and just, you know. But because they didn't get it, they're still growing up. I've never like told them about my insecurities that, oh my God, I hate my height, I hate my nose, I hate my hair, I hate how I look. Like I would never say that to them, but them pointing it out just in a way, in the casual form, just made me just withdraw into myself. And if I didn't withdraw into myself, I became quite defensive. So yeah, so I went through all of secondary school, like never having been in a relationship, never having been liked or loved or appreciated or just, you know, and that is when you're the core of yourself. Like then you're not wearing any makeup, you don't have any clothing because everyone is wearing uniform. You don't have anything necessarily to beautify you. You don't have any money, like the boys don't have money, you don't have a career. Like maybe give or take, you're acknowledged for your smartness and your worthiness of being. But then you're liked because of you, technically. It might be a superficial like, but you're liked because of, hey, I like what you look like, I like how you behave, let's be a couple. So nobody liked me as I was, even though they thought I was funny and so, well, it was never from a romantic perspective. And even if it was never said to me. So I went through all of my early youth, just being unchosen. And so skip to university, I've just become so acclimatized to being alone. And it was in uni I started to appreciate like my height, because now when they're like, oh my God, you're so tall. Well, that comes from a place of appreciation. Opposed to, oh, you're freakishly tall, which was what I've had somebody say to me one time, that I was freakishly tall. I grew into my face and my looks maybe in my early 20s. I think that was when, in my early 20s, was when I started to realize that men actually were attracted to me. And these were men I was equally attracted to or developed an attraction to. But because I had no reference point of what romantic love looked like, and like I said, I had become quite a defensive person, like before you hurt me, I'll hurt you, I did become quite avoidant. And I didn't know how to do the dance of love, you know, give a little, take a little. Like, I was pretty naive, and I know here it's like a very sexually free country. I wasn't very sexually open because I already built up this idea of like sex and romance and love. I'm growing up Christian as well, the Christian Nigerian, someone that was well practicing Christianity and trying to be well deep in my faith.
So, so she's saying that she's basically a virgin, and that there is something that she's doing wrong, and I believe it's projecting her femininity. A man that is with a woman, a man that sees a woman that is technically, she's a virgin. She is top. She is prime. That is prime right there. There is something that she's doing other than that. She is not sexually liberated, which is a great thing. And men that know that will be like, if a man knows that a woman has not been with another man, they would jump on that, regardless of how she looks. Well, they would, change some of the things. But that right there is a number one thing. That right there. The fact that she has that and she's not talking to her father and they're from Nigeria. I believe she said she was from Nigeria. She should have been talking to her father, and she should have had a husband by now. Why she doesn't have a husband? That's the problem right now. She is prime right now. She's at her prime right now. And it's declining, but she still has something that a lot of women don't have, and she still has her virginity. And that right there, that is her number one thing that she has. And because she doesn't project her femininity, that is why she's by herself. That is it. That is why. We're going to listen to this thing some more, but that is it right there. The fact that she says she's a virgin and she's not married, that's the reason, because she's not projecting her femininity. That is it.
I had this idea of what romantic love was, and there will be like a courtship, but before we even do anything, I know that we're headed towards marriage. So I was that kind of girl that would be like, oh, I want to save myself for marriage. I want my first kiss to be on my If you know how my first kiss happened, it was so ridiculous. But I want my first kiss to be with my husband, preferably, or someone I'm going to be dating. Guys, it didn't happen that way. Trust me. So because I didn't really have any context, I just didn't know the performance of like what to say,
Where's her
what
mom?
not to say, what to do, what not to do, when to tell, when not to tell. Like, I didn't know. Even when I had mutual attraction to the guys that were talking to me, I can see the roles I played in them not appreciating me. Like, because, okay, for one, there was one guy that I was very much attracted to. And I think there was mutual attraction, but man, I talked too much. I want to say I was mean, but I don't know if I was mean. I was just like shy. And when I'm shy, I can be quite like brash, because I don't want to talk too much. And I'm just like, ugh. So the sun's gone down. So when I think about how I was in that space, I think a part of it was my uncomfortability and my avoidant nature with the opposite sex, and him being more experienced than I was just didn't work out. Yeah, I didn't know how to do the dance of romantic love, man. I didn't know. Looking back, I'm like, oh, I'm not feminine enough. I'm not nurturing enough.
The bingo. She said it. She said it. Bingo. There it go. That's what it is. She says she's not feminine enough. That's what it is. That is what it is. She's not feminine enough. No guy wants to be with a girl that is like one of the dudes, man. No. Let me say this. Whatever. Make your man feel like he's the superhero. Make him feel like he is a superhero, like he could solve anything. He could stop a bullet with his fingers, like whatever. Whatever. Of course, not really, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, make him feel important in your household, man. Make him feel like, look, we need you here. You need to be like, he is needed. Like, make him feel needed in the house. You know, when you say things like, I need you to help guide these kids, I need you to help guide us, I need those type of things, it's gonna keep your man. And but going back to her about her femininity, but that's all about part of femininity right there. She's not feminine enough. Where's her mother? Has her mother talked to her about this stuff? Is her father talking to her about this stuff? I'm happy she said it at 11 minutes, but this is what it is right here.
Enough, and then I tried to play the cool girl. It didn't quite work, you know. Like, so I just did a lot of things wrong because I don't know whose Beyonce's t-shirt is this. Probably my sister's. Yeah, I'll probably keep it for them because if you let me, I'll probably donate this, but I know they will not be happy. Yeah, so I just didn't know how to navigate that, and ever since, it's always been a situation where I meet somebody, I like them, they don't like me, or they like me, I don't quite like them, or then I find that I know too much about them and I'm not as interested anymore. So yeah, and then now that was back in my 20s, but now that I'm in my 30s, the quality of men has declined.
Yeah. They're gonna decline. They're gonna decline because you're not at your prime. But all in all, still though, you have your virginity, and that is what you should. Well, not that what you lead with, but you just keep that. And when you have your conversations with the dudes that you with, hopefully you're talking to your dad, and your dad is looking for a man for you because he should be. He should be looking for a man for you because in African culture, they kind of do that too. That is more something that they do, and he should be doing that, you know. But where's your dad? Where's your mom? Good questions.
Oh my God. Tried online dating. Even though I wasn't very successful in my 20s, now in my 30s is even worse. Like the quality of men on Hinge.
Yeah, because they want to have sex.
Literally unhinged. It's just taking a nosedive. And my outlook towards online dating now, when it was a thing of curiosity and excitement and optimism, now I'm dreading it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I have anxiety now when I go back online. I'm like, I don't know this person. I don't want to now go there and be disappointed. I don't know how to talk on text. I already enjoy my peace too much. I love my space. I love my solitude. Is this person worthy of being in it?
She's only saying that to protect herself from the heartache of knowing that she might not have a chance to be in a relationship. That's what that is. She really wants to be in a relationship. You can see it through the video that it hurts her that she's not in a relationship. And that's why it's so important that you work and use what you got. Okay? And what I mean by that is not to get ahead, but to get you a husband. Present yourself the best way. And right now, that way that she's talking about and about how she's happy by herself and all that, that's a person that's already sick and tired, and she's already accepted that, you know what? All right, I could be by myself because she ain't got no choice. If she had a choice, she wouldn't be by herself. I promise you. I promise you that. But we're gonna let this play out a little more, then we're gonna go to the comments. But let's listen to what else she has to say.
It's all this like yap. And again, I'm not like quite comfortable with where I'm in life as well. So I know like I now have to tell this person about this, and I'm just like, oh fuck it. So I end up not even putting myself out there, you know. So now I'm not on any dating platforms. So it's just me and mine. So that's been my history. Oh my God, that was a long history. So where am I now? I've sort of accepted my singleness because it's not that I don't want to be in love. I do want to be in love. So like when I've had the opportunity of being loved on and being loved at, I do quite like it. But I've never had it for more than 3 months.
Bingo. Told you. Told you. That's another bingo part 2. Told you. She's just accepted, and that's a lot of women. When women say, "I just be about, you know, I love my singleness," no, you don't. You have to accept your singleness. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't be, and you shouldn't be single, man. It's not, you know, it's not meant for a man to be alone. It's not. My wife tells me this all the time, you know, but yeah, it's definitely there's definitely some things wrong. She needs to go talk to her dad. Where's her dad? Where is she at? Not that it matters for me, but just saying, like, if she was in Africa, it should have been a little bit more easier to find a man in Africa because her family's there. She's there. She can go get herself a man. That's what I'm talking about for that. I would think that she would be in Africa now. I would think so. I don't know where she's at. I just saw the video, plugged it up, and then I just rocked with it. But yeah.
3 months usually is pushing it. Like, I usually give men like 3 months to fuck off. I'm like, you're probably here for 3 months. Let me see how we go after the 3-month mark, before I realize, oh, you're actually here to stay. But most times, a lot of men haven't met that 3 months. I do enjoy being wanted. Like, who doesn't want to be wanted? Who doesn't want to be appreciated? Who doesn't want to have their person? I think it's so cool having, that's my person. Like, someone you can always depend on. I always wonder what my journey would have been like had I been partnered up. And I always imagine that it went well. Like, I always imagine that, oh my God, I'd have met this person, would have built a life, would have bought a house, would have bought 2 cars. I always imagine that that's how my life would have played out. But it couldn't necessarily have played out like that. It could have made me a shell of myself, or even more a shadow of myself, But we always look at the pool and see it full, even though it's an empty pool. And we always imagine that, oh, I would have been this, and we have this optimistic idea of what our life could have been had it turned out a certain way. But I could have also been in a relationship and it could have ate me up and threw me out and chewed me out and vomited me out. And, I could have been in a relationship where I wouldn't have recognized myself anymore, as opposed to this sense of self I've learned about me. Like, I have bloomed so much in my sense of self. Like, I know myself to the core. Like, I don't understand how much of self-awareness I have. I know my weaknesses, I know my flaws. And it's possible that I wouldn't have had the liberty of knowing this part of me had I been so wrapped up in a space where I wasn't meant to be at.
That's a lie. That's a lie. She doesn't know herself yet. If you have not been in love and you have not, been in a relationship, a deep connected relationship, like when you felt like you was in love with this person, and you haven't experienced the ups and downs of what love could make you do, there's no way you know yourself. You don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know yourself, sweetheart. You don't. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. Just saying, you don't know. You don't know how to react when somebody does you wrong. You don't know how you would react when things don't go your way. Like, there's so many things. I don't know why I get on this mic. I be yawning. But I am not tired. I promise you I'm not. But anyway, there's no way that she knows herself. She doesn't. And that is part. It's the maturity, which is okay. Being green for a man is a good thing because it's green. She doesn't know better, and he's coming in to fix that. So that is not a negative thing when I say these things, because a man wants to mold her to him. You understand what I'm saying? He wants her to be moldable with him, and that is the most important thing. Me saying these things about her, I do think she needs to fix that gap, only because it makes her look, her appearance look better. Her teeth are clean, her teeth are white. That's great, but I think if she was to fix that gap, it'll make her joint. She'll be popping. And that man is going to come in and he's going to do those things because he knows he wants to make her attractive. I just hope when he doesn't make those changes that she receives it and she actually uses the change. Like, she blossoms in that, but not too much. And she doesn't think like, well, she get too big for her britches, meaning like she's now she's like she gets, she thinks she's better than him. That's when the problem is going to start to happen, because nobody's going to, like, she's getting the new attention. That's when I just hope that that doesn't happen to her. But I think she's closer to being married because it does look like she is pleasant still. She still is pleasant. I think, the shyness. I think if somebody was to invest in her, I think that's a good investment because she's still green. And she hasn't really experienced anything. So anything that you give her, anything that you experience with her is going to be brand new to her, and it's going to be such a good thing when if she was to just change a little bit, be more feminine and stuff like that. I think she's a blank slate, and that is what men really are looking for. And I think she's gonna be fine. I think she hasn't given off feminine traits yet. Like, I know how to cook and clean, and I know how to take care of myself, and I know. And she got to see that men are more visual than anything else. So, but I think she's closer than a lot of females because she's still green, and she's still a virgin, and that is a big thing for a man because he wants to be the one that molds her to make. She's not tainted with all of the bad thing that goes on in relationships. You know what I'm saying? She's in a good spot, in my opinion. She's in a great spot, but the man gotta come and she's gotta be willing to listen, and that be it. And that be it. But let me go on these comments. I think she's in a great spot right now. Finding my joy 26. I'm 45 and have never been in a healthy one, so please don't be discouraged. Oh man. Oh. That is, oh my God. Oh man, that is, man. I feel for y'all because being in a relationship, and going through the ups and downs just sharpens you so much. Don't get me wrong. It has its its things, I guess, negative, positive, but it's just, man, like, I just learned so much out of relationships, and to be in a relationship with my wife, and we growing together, is such a beautiful thing. Like, I don't know, it hurts. That's 45. You know what I mean? Whew. Hi, Kiki Carr says, free of heartbreak, headache, and disease. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, that don't necessarily mean, like, but how would you know how strong you are if you don't jump into the fire? How tough do you know you are if you're not jumping into the fire? If you're not trying to strive and do something better? If you're not taking these risks? Not to say you gotta be sexual to have the risk, but how do you know? I don't know. Savannah Harm says, I thought I was going to never be kissed when I was 18, so I pushed and chased and made a lot of decisions I regret. See, that's jumping the gun. I want to see what she replied on that one. She said, Enrica says, we live and learn. Regret is a pointless emotion. Take what you can from the moment, learning and all, and leave the rest. Like you can't change anything. What's the point of regret? You experience something, you've got a story. And whatever the experience is, someone has been through similar. Yes, but for some people, regretting something makes a change to where they don't make the same mistake again. And that's the most important thing. You don't want to make the same mistake again. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then Michael Muane says, Enrique, regret is a pointless emotion. Hits hard. I don't really understand what that means, but Nah. I got 7. Rev Tiny Army Stay once blink says Enrica. Regret isn't truly a pointless emotion as it teaches a lesson and can help you teach others from your regretful mistakes. It is a very useful and necessary emotion for human development. Not to get technical or anything. Yes, I agree. I agree. When you regret something and it hurts, everything that you learn, when you really truly learn it, is tied to an emotion. It is tied to an emotion. How you felt at that moment when this and this happened, and I don't want that to happen to you. So that's what that's about. It's not a pointless emotion. It's a learning tool. It's something that the brain remembers. So being a boot camp instructor at one time in my life, I used to make sure that when I wanted to make a point about something, I raised my voice, I yelled louder, I got more in your face. I try to make it a memorable moment in time so you'll never forget it, because I wanted to intentionally piss you off so you don't forget it. You understand what I'm saying? Anything that you ever learn in life when you're trying to make a change, it's got to be tied to an emotion. It's got to make you feel something. It has to make you understand. Like it binds itself to your mind. It like sears it in your mind. So when you go through these things, you don't forget it. So you can't say it's a regret is a pointless emotion. No, no, no. Regret is something like, you know what? I'll never do that again. I'm never. So whenever your mind thinks to do it again, like I'm not doing that again. Remember that happened last time? I'm not doing that again. It's just like a fire, right? You put your hand on fire, it burns you. You're not gonna be like, well, you know what? It's a regret is a pointless emotion. No, it is not. I know if I put my hand on that fire, I'm gonna get burnt. That's how it rolls. Yeah. Let's look at some more of these. Wildlife 8975 says I also made crappy decisions too, though I was slightly older. STD scare and unhealthy relationships on 2 separate occasions, both within a year within both within less than a year and a half. So she jumped the gun too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next person says me too. Me too when I was 27, sort of. Okay. Let's go to the next couple. Um, Starlight 2046 says I had my first and only relationship at 28. He's my first everything, and I met him doing what I was passionate about. I just wanted to be around like-minded people, and I became friends with him. I had no intentions of meeting anyone, and I had accepted being single. I think being a late bloomer really helped me to reject unsuitable suitors and to finally notice a man that would become my first and only. We're now engaged. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. And shout out to her, man. Starlight 2046. Shout out to you, man. That's dope. I'm happy that you found your one, and at 28, you warded off all of the losers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's true. Losers. You warded off all of those, man, because that's what it's about, man. It's not about, men are not looking for women that has a lot. Like initially, they're not looking for a woman that has a lot of experience, right? The less experienced you are, the better you are, believe it or not. Like, it's kind of scary when a woman is too experienced, because you think like, man, like what was she doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I could say that. It could just be me. But I talk to my friends, and they kind of say the same thing. Like, if you too experienced in something, you'd be like, hold on. This is not your first time or your second or your whatever. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to her, man. That's what it's about, man. Love is it is like, man, I don't know. I can't, if I could describe it in a few words, I would say love is like the greatest thing that ever was created, but can destroy you just the same. And you have to guard your heart, man. But going back to and what's her name? And Rinka, yo, just project your femininity. Project your femininity. You have the best. You still have a shot because you're still a virgin, and a lot of men are gonna go for that. That is your best shot. You should be talking to your dad. You should be talking to your mom and asking them what is it you're not doing, because there's something definitely wrong. But at the same time, you're closer to what you want right now. Well, you was closer when you was 25, 20 your 20s, but being 34, this is about high risk pregnancy is about he's about to get that time right now. So you should have been talking to your dad by now. You should be talking to your dad. But I think you got a good shot, man. And good luck to you. I hope you find your guy, because love is such a beautiful thing. I'm happy that I really experienced it. Yeah, I hope you get good luck to you in your journey. But anyway, this is Karu the Mentor, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe in the video. And shout out to Enrica, man. She's definitely touching folks and talking about things. Definitely shout out to her. But keep learning, keep growing, and keep living life's lessons. And I'm out. Later.